Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So I'm here to talk about the new mid-range elephant in the room, and that is the new Samsung Galaxy A53, which looks pretty interesting. In fact, it's one of the most interesting phones so far this year, which, I guess I can say that now. We're halfway through March. So, oddly enough, they launched this about the same price point as the iPhone SE, which it's kind of curious to me that this phone seeks to, I guess, maybe compete with the iPhone SE when really they're two completely different markets, and the only thing they really compete on is the price point. Because for most people, if you want something for cameras, if you want something for entertainment, if you want something for all-day battery life, the A53 seems kind of like a no-brainer, especially at $449. It has a lot of interesting stuff going for it. So it's got a quad camera array. It's got a 64 megapixel primary camera on the back. It's got an ultra wide. It's got a 5 megapixel macro lens camera, which is good. It's not the tube. It's got a 5 megapixel depth sensor as well. So you should get some pretty good quality portrait shots. 120 hertz refresh rate on a 6.5 inch screen, flat screen. It's not curved. And it really took me by surprise that it's actually an AMOLED. This is not an LCD screen. And then a 32 megapixel front-facing selfie camera. So it seems like Samsung really is putting a lot into trying to sell this, and it makes sense because if you look at the numbers, if you look at the global sales numbers, the lower range phones are the ones that sell the most globally. It's not the S-series phone. The S-series phone is nice and big and flashy and has huge profit margins, but it's not the best selling. And if you look, the iPhone SE 2020 was like the 8th, I think, best-selling phone last year and has sold basically as many phones as the S-series, all three combined. So, really interesting to me. I don't know, I might pick one up and see about reviewing it. It's supposed to come out towards the end of the month. I think available at T-Mobile on like March 31st, and then maybe AT&T and Verizon like April 1st, something like that. But yeah, it's really intriguing. So it's got a Exynos processor in it. I believe when I was reading the Exynos 1280, 6 gigs entry, you can also do 8 gigs, and then they've got 120 gigabytes of storage and 256, and also expandable SD card slot, IP67, Gorilla Glass 5, which I'm totally fine with that. Once you get to Gorilla Glass, really anything, it's the last couple of years is perfectly fine. I'm not too worried about it. No wireless charging, no reverse wireless charging, 25 watt wired charging. And it looks like from the Samsung unboxing video I watched, there's not actually a charger in the box. So it seems like this whole mantra of no charger is so pervasive now that it's not even in the mid-range phones. So very disappointing there. No charger in the box. I don't even think it has a screen protector either. No case. So when you take a look at it though, at €449 or €450, it's a really compelling device. And honestly, I don't really think it competes at all with the iPhone SE 2022. The iPhone, yes, it's $429, but really, they're for two different markets. A lot of people that are interested in them, you don't get a lot of people who say, okay, I'm trying to decide between the Samsung or the Apple phone. Usually they go, okay, I'm trying to decide which iPhone I want, or I'm trying to decide which Android phone that I want, and usually that's a Samsung phone or looking at just an iPhone in general. So there may be a few people, and that's a really tough decision because when you look at it on paper, it's really what you want, right? Do you want the Apple services? Do you want the super long-term support? Even though the A53 does fall under the 4-year operating system, 5-year security patch update plan that Samsung now has, that's still going to be eclipsed by however long this iPhone SE 22 is going to be taken care of by Apple, especially with the A15 Bionic versus the Exynos 1280. Completely different stories there. So there are a lot of fundamental differences, especially if you look at the iPhone. Yeah, it's going to have a decent camera, but also it doesn't need to have night mode for one, and the video camera capability on the selfie, not also the greatest as well. We're looking at kind of dated camera stuff here, even though it does have the deep fusion now with the 12 megapixel on the back. It's still limited, and they still don't give you the robust access to everything that the camera can do because they want to upsell you on the other phones. Yes, it's a good deal, I guess, if you can get a $429 iPhone, but they can't give you too good of a deal because then you won't want to buy the other ones. So, yeah, I may go ahead and pick up the A53 just so I can take a look at it. It seems like a good phone for probably a lot of people, and in fact, it may be the most compelling Samsung phone I've seen so far this year. The S21 FE at a lower price point, that's also something to take into consideration as well, because if you go to Best Buy, you can get it with activation for $499. There have been a lot of discounts and deals on it. So when you look at the A53 at $449, in a lot of places you can get the the S21 FE for $499, I would still say go S21 FE. But that also means you'll likely be able to get some good sales and stuff on the A53 as well. So Samsung really is kind of throwing me for a loop here. It's even coming cheaper than last year. Last year's A52 was $499, so they found a way to drop the price. But of course, I guess they kind of had their hand forced a little bit by the new iPhone. So looking at it, I think it looks like a pretty good package for a lot of people with a lot of different options. And they've got these new colors. They're called the Awesome colors. It's like Awesome Black, Awesome White, Awesome Peach, and what was the other color? Maybe it was Awesome Blue. I think that might have been it. It looks very interesting, especially with the camera module on the back. It looks like they straight up ripped off Oppo with their kind of that gradual ramped up design towards the camera, the way it's all integrated together. It very much screams kind of Oppo from the back, or Oppo, wherever you're at, I guess. I just call it Oppo. Well, when it comes to this phone, though, I think it's interesting. I think the price point is just about right for a launch price. Of course, you'll be able to get this cheaper, trade-ins, all sorts of things. I think right now, if you pre-order it through Samsung, you get like an extra $100 trade-in credit, and also give you a pair of Galaxy Buds Live. And I gotta say something here real quick. They're trying to make it seem like a good deal if you get these Galaxy Buds Live, if you go ahead and pre-order it. They're okay. I like them. I enjoyed them. I might have even reviewed them. I've reviewed so much stuff over the last couple of years, but yeah, we've had like the Galaxy Buds Pro, the Galaxy Buds 2 since it. There's been a lot of earbuds since then. Not really sure. I guess they're just trying to clean the shelves off with these. And for most people, they're going to be perfectly good earbuds. I like them. I think that they fit well. They're good for my size ear, but everybody's ear ergonomics are different. So yeah, don't be fooled there. They're not very expensive, amazing earbuds. But hey, if they give you a free set of earbuds, give you some extra trade-in credit, that does help sweeten the deal. Lowers it even more effectively if you can get a lower down price on this of effectively $350. That's pretty good. If you could straight up buy this phone $350, I think that that's a steal of a deal. And I got to do some research and figure out exactly what kind of power we're getting out of this Exynos 1280. Not the biggest fan of an Exynos, but it does have a 5,000 milliamp battery. So when you look at this on paper, AMOLED display, 6.5 inch, 120 hertz refresh rate, expandable SD card slot, minimum 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabytes baseline storage, quad camera array, 32 megapixel on the front. They really are giving you a lot. And it's a really, really compelling phone for a lot of people that want a good to decent phone experience. It's going to get supported for years, that you'll be able to do probably better than casual gaming on. And it really seems like an emphasis towards multimedia, content creation, and stuff like doing your TikTok and all that stuff. It was very interesting to me to watch the keynote, how they shot the video effectively in the portrait mode, like if you were watching a big TikTok video. So I'm sure that's really is appealing towards that market, that generation, and that demographic really. So I think it'll be good. I think the price point's very, very fair, and that's something very unusual to say, I guess, about Samsung. But I think this may be one of the phones to beat this year, especially in the mid-tier price category. So I'll probably pick one up. What do you think? You want to see me spend more money? My wife, if she knew how many phones I was buying. Anyway, yeah, thankfully the channel revenue mostly covers this stuff. But I mean, it costs a lot of money to keep buying these phones. So if y'all really want to see it, I will pick one up. I will test it out, because I feel like this phone is probably going to be some top-notch value. And that's, of course, one of the biggest things that I like to bring here to my channel. Things that are of great value, things that really benefit the consumer, and it's not always straight-up flagship stuff. Of course, I like the flagship stuff. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want to check out and review Ferraris and the top-end stuff? But that's not where most people really find themselves with the phone. A lot of people don't have those phones. A lot of people really want to spend something like this and get into a nice mid-tier phone that really isn't a lot of compromise nowadays, because these mid-tier phones, they bring so much. Every year that baseline competency moves up higher and higher and higher, to the point now where it's like they almost have to consciously dumb them down to not give you a decent phone, especially if you're paying $300 or $400. So we'll see how it goes. Sound off in the comments. Let me know. I'll probably throw a poll up to see what you guys think about picking up this phone, and we'll go from there. But I thought it was exciting and interesting enough to look at, to tell you guys, because I think it's probably going to be a good deal. I've also got a link. If you want to pre-order it, down in the description, you can check that out as well. It's an affiliate link. If you happen to buy one through there or pre-order one, it does help support the channel, and that's always good if you like to support the channel. If not, don't click on it. So that's all I've got. Any questions or comments, head down to the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.